guys, so it is finally back, F1 2015 career mode, and alright, Goat Simulator intruding here. Alright, yeah, Daniel Ricciardo career mode, back after like 9 months or something like that, looking at the last time I posted one of these videos. Got way too busy with school, but I'm going to try to finish this entire season before F1 2016 comes out. So, here in Spain, so I guess we're coming off of that win in Bahrain. Technically, we're coming off of a win, even though, we basically took a whole season's break in between the two races. But here in Spain, Red Bulls have been pretty good at Spain in recent history, especially this year in 2016 with Max Verstappen, and Ricciardo had a good run going until that pit stop. But so we have a Red Bull. The only problem for sure with us is going to be that we lack a lot of straight line speed, especially at a track like this with a long front straightaway. So I'm kind of curious to see how we're going to match up on the straights against teams like Ferrari and Mercedes, who have a lot better straight line speed than what we do, and then how much time we could make up in the corners, because we don't have, while we don't have a great engine, we do have a really nice aero package here in this Red Bull that can get us through the corners nicely. So first thing to go and practice, get rid of these prime tires. I hadn't played the game in a while. I played it a little bit the last couple of weeks just to kind of get my feel back for it. Did a couple of public lobbies, did a couple of races with some friends. I'm like, alright, I just gotta try to see what I can run lap-wise here. So we're gonna go out straight on the options and try to run our first lap. We ran the first lap, wasn't so good. Got us P5 the first time around, so we'll run up one lap here. Choose up to P2 between Rosberg and Raikkonen. So it wasn't a bad lap, wasn't a bad session. The straight line speed, while it lacked, it wasn't bad. And so here, just to close out the session, kind of mess with some things, came out one more lap. This is our best lap of the session. Put us in P2 at the moment, with just a few minutes left in the session. So I think after this, I just went back to the garage to try to just wait it out. I didn't really feel like I had another fast lap in me on those tires because I'd used the same set for the whole qualifying, I believe. So went ahead and fast forwarded here, and I think we get overtaken by Hamilton. I think Hamilton jumps to the top of the board here at the very end of it. So I think it goes Hamilton, Rosberg, then us in third, and then followed by I think it's Vettel. Yeah, it's Vettel, Massa, and then Raikkonen, he was in third early on in the session, and then falls down to sixth right in front of our teammate, our teammate Kvyat. But this is last season, so so our teammate's down in seventh. We're up in third. I think our objective for the whole season overall is to just get fifth in the driver's standings, so that's not bad at all. So it should be very interesting. Should be a good race. Should be a good quali here. I'm pretty sure that we just jumped straight into qualifying. I think I got one shot on. Kind of been a while since I actually did this race. Trying to sort things out here. All right, went in. Yep, got the prime got the options on. It's a beautiful sunny day out. Yeah, I had to run that back. All right, yeah, we did have options on. I want to double check that. Alright, so we're going to go here, and we haven't even gotten past the start-finish line hardly, and we're back in P16 because of the straight line speed deficit. It's terrible how slow we are sometimes going through here. So we have a pretty good run through the first braking zone, pretty good run through the sweeping right-hander here, kind of fall back and then get a good run on the exit. So we're in P5, but we are just barely off of Rosberg, trying to get into this little right-hander here, and we kind of gained to the middle of the corner, but it seems like this car really struggles with wheel spin on the exit sometimes. So the Mercedes can really get a good exit and then pull away on the straights. So, we had a good car, like I said, to get through the corner well, but then when we get back onto the straights, we just kind of lose it sometimes. Kind of took that corner a little bit too sharply there. Rosberg going to gain some time, but we kind of on a really tight line, clipped the edge of the gravel there, coming through for our qualifying lap, right behind Rosberg. Try to brake late, or as late as possible, into the hairpin. Still in 5th place though, that's not bad. Kind of cut through the grass there, mow the lawn for him a little bit. Kind of get a good exit off of this corner. This last section here is where you can gain the most time as a driver, because the AI can't really get through these sharp little corners very well, so you have to kind of make up all your time there. So we're gonna flash into P1 coming off of the corner, and then as soon as we get off Rosberg back into P1 with that speed, we are going to qualify in P2 for the Spanish Grand Prix after this long break. So yeah, it's a good spot to be in. Obviously, I would have liked to come back with a pole, especially coming off of a race win, but you know, it could be worse, but it could still be a little bit better. I'm happy where we're at. Kvyat got down in 8th there, so he's still kind of slacking off the pace a little bit. So we split the two Mercedes, Vettel and Raikkonen, then right behind each other, the two Williams together. And after that, the field is kind of balanced and split. So we'll see how we can balance things out and try to get this race win. Alright, so loading in here. We are here on the grid with a little bit of lag in the game for the Spanish Grand Prix. I believe we've got another beautiful sunny day going on here. Don't believe we had any weather issues. Yeah, beautiful sunny day. Had a good weekend. No rain, no anything. Good solid weekend at Spain all around. Sometimes you do run into weather here, but I haven't really ran into it often. So once again, Nico Rosberg will start on pole. We're going to start in second. Who knows where we're going to end up at, though. We have a lot of issues. I don't get very good starts anyways because I don't run traction or anything with any of the assists, and then I also kind of have trouble getting going at a track like Spain that has a long run into the first corner. So we'll look at our starting grid. Kind of normal for Formula 1. Kind of have the Manders on the bottom. Kind of have the Saubers, the McLaren Hondas bringing down the bottom. So I mean, it's kind of a normal, typical type of race that you would think would happen, other than us being able to get up there and split the two Mercedes cars. So we're going to double check our pit strategy here and get things going. Going to go ahead for the options and primes instead of doing the opposite. I thought about switching it into reverse, but I think that I would have probably lost too much time in the first sector, or in the first stint, excuse me. So we'll see how we go. So we get a lot of wheel spin off the start. Wheel spin in first and second, going into third there. So the two Mercedes just fly. I'm about to get split by the Red Bulls. Raikkonen goes up on my left. Vettel's coming up on my right. So we're going to go there. We get into the back of Vettel just a little bit. Luckily we didn't damage the front wing. Had a little bit more wheel spin. Ended up cutting that left-hander. Going to go around the sweeping left-hander though. Oh, and then Rosberg gets into Hamilton, and we are able to squeeze around the edge of Raikkonen and squeeze back into where we started. And that's pretty ironic then, since Rosberg and Hamilton got together in the real Spanish Grand Prix this year. So the two Mercedes having some bad luck. I think they had a little bit of bad luck at Bahrain, if I'm correct, from our last race, because I would think it was me and Vettel getting a 1-2 finish there as well. There might have been a Mercedes on the podium, but I'm not 100% sure. So definitely the Mercedes having problems here early on. We're just going to try to take advantage of this after we got around Raikkonen and just try to chase down Rosberg. But these Mercedes are so quick on these straightaways. Kind of cut the hairpin there, trying to get every last inch out of it that we can. Like I said, we can gain some on the corners. We have a good aero package, but we don't have the straight line speed, because as we get a little wheel spin there coming off with the corner. But see, like in sections like this with the good aero package on the car, and then the AI's lack of ability to get through the really tight corners, kind of gained just a little bit on Rosberg, but he's already like getting ready to fly out of here, you would think, because I mean he's had the fastest car pretty much the whole weekend, other than Lewis getting a good lap in practice. So kind of like their 2016 season, Rosberg kind of being ahead out of the two Mercedes, but then they also kind of had a collision and some battles going on that were pretty tight. I don't know if we can run Rosberg down though, because he is just insanely quick, especially on these option tires. He pulls away and is able to push his tires without actually getting very much damage on them. So we're like cutting corners, about to hit the gravel trap. Like, we're trying to do everything we can to keep up with Rosberg here, and it's just almost impossible to keep up with him. We didn't really have many gains here, but I think eventually we may be able to catch him towards the end of the stint. Hopefully he is pushing his tires too hard, but you never know with these Mercedes. So let's take another look here at the start here as we kind of come towards the end of lap 2. Let's take a look at that start from the broadcast perspective, and then maybe from Rosberg's perspective. So the two Mercedes, yeah, they're side by side going into the first corner. I dropped back. Looks like I kind of clipped the Williams that was right behind us there. I couldn't even tell. So try to stick around the outside of Vettel, and the collision happens. Raikkonen has to check up, which causes Vettel to have to check up, so I just am able to squeeze around the outside of Raikkonen. Take a look here from Rosberg's perspective. So he was on the left and Hamilton was on the right, trying to make the move down the inside. And they just looks like they just locked wheels, and Hamilton got the worst end of it because he was in the back. So very unfortunate for the Mercedes, but very fortunate for us as we skip ahead here to lap 4, where we were actually starting to catch Rosberg, trying to get DRS, trying to put the car in a rich mix, like trying to do everything that we can to close up on the back of this Mercedes, because if we do not catch them early, they're just going to run away with it, or one of them is going to run away with it at least. So Vettel kind of back behind us. He's decently close, but he's not, right on us. So it kind of gives us a little bit of room to try to catch up to Rosberg and try to get a good battle in with him. Kind of take this corner really tight. Gotta make sure you hit your marks. You almost have to run what you're trying to envision as qualifying lap times, because you just have to run the perfect lap to keep up with these Mercedes. Extremely quick in the 2015 season, and they're still just as quick this year seemingly until they wreck each other out. So Rosberg takes a bad corner. When we have a really good run, we're going to get a good run up the inside with the DRS, and we're going to brake as late as we possibly can into this hairpin to try to force him to the outside or keep him from doing the crossover. And we're going to get around him going into this third sector here, and we will lead lap 4. I'm kind of curious to see how we're going to be able to hold him off, though, because when we get back to this front stretch, he should still be close enough for DRS, and with that Mercedes straight line speed, he could probably make a move right back at us if we're not careful. We'll get pretty loose going into the final corner there, coming on to the stretch, and we're going to stick it up in rich to try to hold him off, but we can still make up good times with that third sector. So even though he's going to gain pretty quickly down here, going towards the end of the first stretch, he still just can't keep up with us because we have that good aero package, and we have that advantage going into the smaller corners. So it looks like Vettel's still in third. We're not running the quick times of the race here, but we're doing pretty good. So it looks like Vettel got around Rosberg here as we head into lap 7 to look towards the start of pit stops, because not much else happened after we got around Rosberg other than Vettel making that pass. Coming into lap 7, I decided to stay out till the last lap of my pit window, which was lap 7 or 8. Decided to go for the ladder. Vettel pits in on lap 7, trying to do the undercut on me and Rosberg. We're going to skip in here to, or not skip in, we're going to kind of look here on lap 8. Kind of coming around. I think I do end up skipping towards the end of this lap for our pit stop. But it looks like me, Rosberg, and Raikkonen all stay out. Rosberg's getting pretty close here at the end of the stint. I may have been pushing my tires too hard to try to keep my lead or try to get around him initially. Kind of clip the edge of the grass there on the edge of the corner. Rosberg right on the back of us here. We're going to take a super tight line, kind of cutting the grass even more. So I don't know how I got away with all this without getting any corner cutting penalties or any time penalties or anything like that. So we're going to head into the pits. The computer takes over our car and makes us hit the wall, so I had to make sure I didn't get wing damage from that, because that could have ruined the whole race right there. So we're going to go in at the end of lap 8 into lap 9. Put on the primes, good 2.2 second stop, in and out, don't have to wait for anybody, didn't get stacked up or anything like that with people in front of us. So we get to get in, get out of the pits, try to continue to do this race and try to pull away from Rosberg. So we're coming out of the pits here. Rosberg is behind us, but we still got his distance. And Vettel going for that undercut is pretty close behind us here coming into the first corner, but we'll clear him. And then I think we're gonna begin to pull away. The prime tires at the beginning of the run just felt really, really good at Spain. They felt honestly maybe better than the options did at the beginning of the run, but obviously with them being a harder tire, the wear just kind of felt different. Even though they last longer, they don't wear as quickly to the point where you're sliding off the track, they still just kind of get really slow in the stints, and I kind of have trouble managing them sometimes when they lose most of their pace. So we are going to pull away from Vettel. I kind of hope that Rosberg gets up there to Vettel and they have another good battle behind us, but you never know. I mean, it's Spain, it's just another Grand Prix, everything can happen here. So we held our lead there, just some position swapping between Rosberg and Vettel going on back there for the last 5 or 6 laps or so. Just really nothing exciting happening. We're coming up on a lapped car here, and the first time we came up on it, I'd just seen the red, and kind of the red towards the top or towards just all over the car, and I thought, oh, I'm seeing red flashes. We're coming up on another manor. I think we lapped one car to like 2 laps or so right before we skipped to this lap. Lap 1 coming out of the pits, but then apparently it was Raikkonen. I have no idea what happened to him. I don't know if it was a bad pit call or if he had gotten into somebody and gotten some damage right there. But we're going to come up here on Raikkonen, going to stick it back in standard fuel, try to get up the inside, get a quick easy move on the inside, and then Raikkonen comes back down across the track after letting me through and takes out Rosberg and his teammate. But Rosberg, based on the minimap, Rosberg made it through, so I'm looking back to see what happened to Rosberg. And then Rosberg takes out Vettel, because you can see the dot slowing on the minimap. So then Vettel's gone. Rosberg has damage from hitting Raikkonen, and it gives us like a 15-second advantage almost over the 2 leaders. Then you look on the top of your screen and see Massa coming into 3rd place. He wasn't even on a podium position. I don't even know if he was inside the top 4 before all this took place. And then you see him flashing into 2nd place. So that's our view. We just passed Raikkonen, and then Raikkonen just moves back over right in front of Rosberg and hits Rosberg twice, and it looks like it made Vettel have to slow down. We'll take a look here from Rosberg's point of view, and I apologize for not hiding the menu on these replay shots here. But so yeah, I mean, you can see Rosberg, they're decently close to us. You know, they can see us. I just moved down the inside of Raikkonen, and Raikkonen just boom right there. Oh yeah, he must have had a bad pit strategy because he's on Raikkonen's on options. I still don't know exactly what happened to him. So Rosberg hits Raikkonen. It's all good. Raikkonen stays out in front of him. Vettel doesn't look like he has much damage, but then Rosberg goes really slow coming out of this corner, hits Vettel. Vettel hits him. Then he spins around and gets hit by the manor. And then Vettel has to back up off the track to try to get going again because Rosberg was going slow and ended up taking him out. So here's Vettel again, hits Raikkonen, but he stays off the wall, doesn't get any damage from it. So then he tries to follow Rosberg, moves on through, tries to follow Rosberg, tries to get around him since Rosberg has wing damage. Rosberg goes extremely slow in the middle of this corner, and then comes up right in front of him. They lock wheels again, and okay, my mistake. He didn't get hit by the manor, but it was definitely close. So he has to back up, get turned back around. Now he slows to a stop and waits for Massa to go by so he can rejoin the track. And then here's Massa's point of view. So other than some small debris laying here coming off of the corner, Massa couldn't even probably tell what was going on. He's coming through this left-hander, and then you just see Vettel sitting on the side of the track there behind the sign. Massa moves through, just kind of cruising along. He's probably extremely happy to be in a podium position in that Williams. I don't know if we've had a Williams podium this year. We might have had a Williams podium in this career mode. And then we have the slow manor up here that he's going to move around. And then Rosberg's going to go even slower up here with the front wing damage, and he's going to lock it up going into the hairpin. And Massa's going to move up the inside, so he goes possibly from the course of, maybe 5 to 6 laps in this Grand Prix. Massa goes from about 4th or 5th up to 2nd place in this Grand Prix. We're going to skip up to the last lap of the Spanish Grand Prix, coming up to the hairpin for the final time, entering Sector 3. Have some wheel spin on the exit. Have a pretty clean line coming through, other than a little bit more wheel spin because these primes just wear a lot after a while. And that being that harder tire, then they kind of get slick, even though you don't lose an extreme amount of traction. Coming through the final corner, coming on to the final corner, onto the final stretch. A huge advantage after all that took place. And we're going to come across to win the Spanish Grand Prix and get 2 race wins in a row here at Red Bull. So the real question here is, what implications are we going to have on the championship? I did not, unfortunately, I did not save this clip. We will have a 31-point lead, and we will move, Red Bull will stay in second place in the Constructors' Championship, 7 points behind Mercedes. Hamilton finishes P6, Rosberg P12. Our DNF of the race was Alonso at his home Grand Prix, unfortunately. However, his teammate Jenson Button did get a finish in the points. So it should be a close battle. More bad strokes for Mercedes, but I'll see you guys next time in Monaco.